What if I told you the last digit of your birth year isn't random? What if it secretly holds clues about your personality, your struggles, and even your destiny? Sounds crazy, right? But ancient numerologists, mystics, and spiritual scholars all believe that numbers carry energy. And just like your name or birthday, even the last digit of your birth year creates a ripple in the spiritual blueprint of your life. You didn't just land in 1991, or 1987, or 2003. You were placed there by divine design. So if your birth year ends in 0, 1, 2, all the way to 9, you're about to find out the hidden truth behind it. Because each number, it's not just a symbol, it's a frequency, a spiritual tone that follows you from birth. And once you learn what yours means, you'll start to see your past and even your present struggles with new eyes. Let's start from the beginning. If your birth year ends in 0, you are the initiator. You were born with the energy of divine new beginnings. Your life often feels like it's resetting. New jobs, new relationships, new identities, and just when you feel comfortable, boom, a shift. But don't fear it. You were built to reinvent, to walk through doors no one else is brave enough to touch. 0 is the void, but it's also the womb of creation. You carry energy that begins cycles. You break old patterns in your family, in your generation, even in the world. If your year ends in 1, you're the leader. You were born with that quiet fire. People notice your energy even when you're silent. You've always felt like you don't quite fit in because you were meant to stand out. The challenge, loneliness, being misunderstood. You're the first to step forward, and that sometimes means walking alone. But your path leads others home. You inspire not by forcing, but by being. If your birth year ends in 2, you're the peacemaker. You're deeply sensitive, in ways you probably didn't even understand as a child. You feel the energy of a room before a word is spoken. Conflict unsettles you, not because you're weak, but because your soul craves harmony. You were born to be a bridge between chaos and calm. But your challenge is knowing when to stop fixing others and start choosing you. If your birth year ends in 3, you are the creative soul. Your imagination doesn't stop. You dream vividly. You feel deeply. You create effortlessly. Words, art, music. You were born with the frequency of expression. But you've also felt misunderstood, like people don't take you seriously. That's because your genius doesn't follow rules. But that same spark in you, it has the power to change how people see the world. If you were born with a 4 at the end, you're the builder. You crave structure, safety, and purpose. You're the type that holds everything together when others fall apart. But your path hasn't been easy. You've likely been burdened with responsibilities from a young age. That's because your soul came here to build foundations for yourself and for others. People may not always thank you, but they depend on your energy more than you realize. And now we reach the midpoint. If your birth year ends in 5, you're the seeker. You're restless, but in the best way. Adventure calls to you. You question everything. You've never liked being boxed in by labels, systems, or expectations. But here's the thing. You weren't made for the box. You're here to explore, mentally, spiritually, even physically. You've probably changed your path many times. And that's okay, because your journey is your message. You find truth in movement, not stillness. And still, every time you try to settle down, something stirs in your spirit. A whisper saying, there's more. More to learn, more to feel, more to understand about this strange, beautiful life. Now pause for a moment. Do any of these resonate with you already? Because you're going to find that these patterns have always been with you, even when you didn't have the words to explain them. Let's keep going. If your year ends in 6, you're the nurturer. You were born with a heart that aches for others. You're the one people come to when they're broken. You feel like a healer, even if you've never been trained. You carry the mother or father energy, no matter your gender. But your lesson is this: don't pour from an empty cup. You cannot save people who don't want to be saved. And not everyone who needs you deserves access to you. If your birth year ends in 7, you are the spiritual one. You've always felt like this world was a little strange. As a child, maybe you asked deep questions. Why am I here? Where do we go when we die? Why do people pretend to be things they're not? You're not crazy. You're sensitive to spiritual realms. 7s are often old souls, carrying wisdom from many lifetimes. But with that comes isolation. Your soul grows in solitude. You may feel like you don't belong, but that's because you belong to higher realms. If your year ends in 8, you are the powerhouse. Money, authority, influence. These energies follow you, whether you want them or not. 8s are here to master material reality. But your challenge, to not be consumed by it. You must learn how to hold power without being corrupted. When balanced, you become a force of massive transformation. You lead movements. You create legacies. And finally, if your year ends in 9, you are the finisher, the cycle closer, the wisdom holder. You carry a sacred energy, the kind that's often born from pain. You've likely experienced more loss, more emotional depth, and more spiritual awakenings than most people your age. Why? Because you're here to complete something, to be the last chapter in a karmic story that has echoed through generations. You feel things deeply, but your life has a quiet strength, the kind that endures even when the world doesn't see it. Now that you've discovered the spiritual meaning of your birth year's final digit, let's go deeper. Because this number isn't just a reflection of your energy. It's a clue, a breadcrumb in the divine blueprint of your life. It reveals what you're here to learn, what you must release, and what's coming next on your spiritual journey. If your digit is 0, your soul is beginning a new karmic cycle. You don't just break old stories, you start divine ones. You may feel misunderstood by your own family, like the black sheep who doesn't follow tradition. That's because you were never meant to repeat the past. You were born to initiate the future. So stop looking back. The people you've outgrown, the places that feel too small. They were chapters, but not the book. Your life opens doors for others. But don't forget, you must walk through yours first. Your path requires courage and trust in the unseen. If your digit is 1, the universe is teaching you how to lead without needing control. People naturally look to you. They seek your advice, your confidence, your voice. But sometimes, leadership feels heavy, like you must always be strong, even when you're hurting. But your lesson is this: you don't need to prove anything. Your presence speaks louder than your words. And when you allow vulnerability to walk beside your strength, you become unshakable. If you're a 2, you've probably battled with boundaries. You love deeply. You give endlessly. And because of that, you've attracted people who take more than they give. But that's not your curse. It's your classroom. You're here to learn that not everyone deserves your peace. That protecting your spirit is not selfish. It's sacred. You're not here to carry everyone. You're here to choose love that flows in both directions. And when you do, everything changes. If you're a 3, you may have been told to calm down or be realistic. But realism has never been your path. You're here to color outside the lines, to dream in ways others fear, to speak when others stay silent. But you must protect your joy. This world will try to dim it. It will call your passion too much. Ignore it. Your light is your weapon. Your expression is your gift. And your story, the one you're afraid to tell, will set others free. If you're a 4, you've carried burdens that weren't yours. People leaned on you before you even knew how to stand. But there's strength in that. You are the tree others seek shade beneath. But don't forget, trees must root themselves first. You don't always have to hold it together. Your worth isn't in what you do, it's in who you are. You're not just a builder of homes or careers. You're a builder of legacies. If you're a 5, your lesson is one of freedom. But not just freedom of location, freedom of self. You're here to dissolve the boxes people put you in, to question what others blindly follow. But the challenge? Not running from discomfort. True freedom comes when you stop chasing highs and start sitting with your soul. You weren't meant for repetition. You're meant to be the wind, unpredictable, but always moving toward purpose. If your digit is 6, you've been a healer in every room you walk into. But healers often forget themselves. You felt unappreciated, unseen, maybe even used. But it's because people sense your light and try to bask in it without giving anything back. Your lesson is sacred. Love yourself like you've loved everyone else. Say no. Rest. Reclaim your time. You don't have to earn love through overgiving. Your presence is already divine. If you're a 7, you've probably questioned everything, even yourself. The spiritual path isn't easy. It's lonely. It strips you down, removes the noise, and leaves only truth. But you were chosen for this. You are the bridge between the visible and the invisible.